Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and today we are going to learn Microsoft Power Automate Desktop Message Boxes functionality. As part of Microsoft Power Platforms tutorial, we are learning Microsoft Power Automate Desktop, Power Automate Cloud, Power BI, Power Apps, SharePoint and OneDrive as well. So in this series, we are learning Microsoft Power Automate Desktop. So these are all the agenda of Microsoft Power Automate Desktop tutorials. So we are going to cover each and every topic and the corresponding properties. We are going to cover each and every property of the particular action, and we are trying to implement those scenarios with the help of a real-time example, and parallelly we are discussing what are all the best practices in real-time scenarios. So currently we are discussing message boxes, and we have already covered few topics like how to display a message box and how to display information message box, error message box, warning message box, and what are all the response we can provide as a message box, like if you want to click yes, no, cancel, or okay, cancel. So different types of options and misinformation icons we have learned. So today we are going to learn input dialog boxes under message box concept. So let's get started. So let me navigate to Microsoft Power Automate Desktop or development editor. So we have already covered. So how to navigate from main flow to desktop editor and development editor. So please try to download the Microsoft Power Automate Desktop and please try to log in with your account. It does not matter whether you are logging with your organization or school mail ID or personal mail ID. That doesn't matter, but you need to practice. So this is low coding platform. You don't need to write single line of code. You can just drag and drop and you can choose the properties and parameters corresponding to that parameter. So the only prerequisite is your time. So if you are able to spend some time to learn Microsoft Power Automate Desktop, you will be expert in Microsoft Power Automate Desktop and cloud or Power Apps or Power BI as well. So let's get started. So I'm going to upload series of videos on Microsoft Power Automate Desktop, cloud and all the things. Along with the Microsoft Power Platforms, even I'm also uploading Microsoft Visual Basic for Application, Excel macro code, VB scripts, and RPA tools like Automation Anywhere, i360, UiPath. Also, I'm series of videos I'm trying to upload. So please go to my channel playlist, and there you can choose your favorite tool or technology folder, and you can continue learning. Okay, so let's get started. So we have already covered to display a message box. Okay, so what are all the different types of message box, how to display a message box in the earlier session. So in this session we are going to discuss about input dialog. So what is input dialog? So input dialog is nothing but, let's suppose I want to pass some value to the robot or the bot or end user dynamically. So how I can provide the thing, I'll show it to you. So even in real time scenarios, let's suppose if you are filling some data or form filling, it will ask some message box pop up. Do you want to enter something, or do you want to select your age, or do you want to select your bank ID? So please select your bank name, please select your country, please select your state, something like that, right? So that is how we can also display a dialog box to get the some dynamic content from the end user. Okay, so let's get started. So let's see all the parameters available in display message, sorry, input dialog. So here we can see input dialog title. So what is the title you want to mention? So this is very important. You need to provide some descriptive or title name, then only end user can understand what is trying to update. And second thing is display message. So here we can type some message to help the end user to provide the inputs. So default value, let's suppose if the user is unable to provide the value, so you can set some value as a default. So whenever the end user value is empty, then it bot is going to utilize the default value. So what are all the input types? So single type, password, multiple, multi-line. So what kind of information you required, like a single line information, either it is a password or it is a multi-line. So let's see one by one option. So let me try to enter. Please enter your age. Okay, please try to enter your age. And then here I will give some information. So please enter in numbers only. Example 25, something like that. Okay, so we can provide syntax or instruction to the end user. So the default value, let's suppose if a user is unable to select any value, we can also consider a default value, let's say 0. And what kind of data it is, either single line, password, or it is multi-line. So this is single line only. Next scenario will cover password and multi-line. So let me choose single line. And here you want to display all the message box on top. Yes, so I want to display this thing is on top. So variable produce, here you can see two different types of variables produced. One is user input and second one is button press. So we have already covered button pressed in the message box. Let's see that what is user input. So let me click on OK, and let me try to display message box to print the user input. So here let's say result of in input, and the age is whatever the age is going to provide. The age is, let me choose this one, user input, and message box. I'm going to consider the default message box, just OK button only, and let me click on save. So now I'll try to run this task. So now the bot is trying to provide a input dialog where you can enter your age. If you see here, the default is 0. Why? Because we have provided default value as 0. Here you can read the instructions. Please enter your age. Please enter in numbers only. Example 25. So let me enter 30, and let me click on. So here you can see the age is 30. So this is how we can read the end user input. So whenever you are trying to implement the unattended bot, you need some sensitive information from the end user. There you can use the input dialog. By using input dialog, you can get the specific input from the user. Bot is going to wait unless and until end user is going to provide the required input, and then bot is going to execute the code. So these all the terminologies, what is attended bot, what is unattended bot, and how to utilize in the real-time scenarios process. We are going to learn each and everything in the upcoming session. So in the today's session, we are just going to learn the basic concept and best practices of the message box functionality. So now what I'll do, I'll go here. This time I'll choose password. So here what I'll do, I'll try to enter. Please enter SSO password. Please enter your login password. Okay. So default, you are not supposed to keep any default value over here. And let me click on save. So now I'll try to run this code. So now if you enter something, it will mask your password with a star symbol. Let's see. So I am trying to enter my password as 1 2 3 4 5. Here you can see only dots only visible. That means you cannot see the password. Password is a sensitive data. So here we have selected the input type as password. So let me click OK, and bot can read that password 1 2 3 4 5. Sorry, let me change message box the content as well. This is not NH, this is password. And let me click on save, and let me run the task. Let me enter my password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and let me click on OK. So here you can see the password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this is how we can utilize the display message and display dialog. So please try to enter multiple lines by selecting the input type as multiple lines, and please try to display the message box uh, the user input. And please let me know if you face any issues on and while running the bot. So also we will cover button pressed also. So let me click on save. and let me display one more message box while copying the task, and let me change the title as button. See what button he has pressed, and let me delete this thing, and let me choose button pressed icon, and let me click on save. And here what I'll enter the default password as 1234. Okay, let's suppose user is denied to enter the password. Okay, so then what he's trying to click, he's trying to cancel button, right? So let's see. Here he's not trying to enter any password over here, so he just clicked on cancel button. So that in that case we can also read the user button pressed. He has pressed cancel, that means that is not a valid password. So that is we can read both the, whether the user input on the button pressed, both the things we can read it over here. So let me remove this default value also, and let me change it to password once again. So multi-line is nothing but you can enter multiple lines at a time. Okay, like any paragraph, something like that. So let me click on save, and let me try to run this task once again. Here we are requesting the end user to enter his password, but he is not willing to provide his password. So then what end user is trying to click on cancel button. So here you can see the password is nothing, empty, and what the button he has pressed, that is cancel. Let's suppose if he provided some input and he pressed OK button, then we will see the end result. So he has entered the password as something, and then he clicked OK, and here you can see password is 12312, and he has pressed OK button only. This is how we can read the user input and what option he has selected, like OK or cancel, in the dialog box. So that's all for today, guys. Hope you like this video, and please subscribe and don't forget to click on bell icon. In the next video we are going to cover these remaining concepts in message boxes. Thank you.